Hello and welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable. I'm your host, Cooper Melder, and alongside me is not Tristan Harlan.
No, not Tristan.
It's our producer, Easton. John Easton, thank you for being on.
No problem, man. And for the rumors surrounding that Tristan Harlan is joining the WWE, I'm going to have to shut down those rumors. He is not joining the WWE. We would love to see that happen, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, there were rumors that he was going to be going to WrestleMania starting in Memphis, but that didn't happen. And with Easton being on, we're going to switch some things back up today. We're going to send it over to our sports desk correspondent, JoeJo Wallace. JoeJo, how are you doing?
Thank you, Coop. Thank you, Easton, for that lovely introduction. I'm JoeJo Wallace from the ASU-TV Sports Desk, and we're going to dive in and take a look at the red-hot Red Wolves who, are really heating up at the right time. The Red Wolves are currently on a 6-game win streak heading into the Sun Belt Conference Tournament, and taking a look at their last game on Wednesday, en route to their 6th straight win, the Red Wolves out-rebounded Coastal Carolina 49-44 to ultimately secure the 71-60 dub in South Carolina. Now, the Red Wolves generated 20 second-chance points off 14 offensive rebounds. However, you can't be a pack without your alpha wolf. So we got to take a look at Isaiah Nelson, who's truly been a dominant force in the paint. Now, Nelson generated his 5th double-double on the season with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and not to mention he's 5th in school history in block shots. With the dub, the Red Wolves clinched the number 4 seed in the conference tournament, which gift them a double bye all the way to the quarterfinals. Now, taking a look at their next game, which is at App State tonight on ESPN+. So make sure you clear your schedules, get your popcorn, because it should be a good one, folks. We're going to switch lanes here and take a look at the Red Wolves and how they've been doing on the diamond. And this baseball team is off to their hottest start since the Michael Jackson era in the 90s. I mean, they've won 8 of their first 9 games, which includes 2 conference sweeps, or 2 series sweeps. And not to mention, little old A-State went out to Oxford and beat Ole Miss 4-2 in some non-conference action. The next game from the mound is tonight versus Missouri State on the Ticket Sports Networks on 95.3. So we've all been wanting to, get taken out to the ball game. So this is your chance tonight, fellas. Make sure you show up and support your Red Wolves. Now, I'm JoeJo Wallace saying goodbye and sayonara from the ASU-TV Sports Desk, and I'm sending you back to the Red Wolf Roundtable crew.
Thank you, JoeJo. And Easton, we have a bunch of news these past couple days. First off, the football schedule has officially been released.
We could take a look at that. Man, I'm excited about this schedule, man. It's compacted with a lot of good games. And, right off the bat, Michigan and then Iowa State.
Those are going to be 2 tough road games.
That's 2 tough road games back-to-back. That's crazy. But we start off with UCA, Tulsa. I mean, those are great games. Those will get us ready, hopefully, for Michigan.
2 easy wins to start off the season, especially against UCA. I mean, we play UCA every so often. They're like our in-state rival. So it's a good way to get the team going with a win against UCA. And Easton, what's your prediction for the year as of today?
As of today, I'm going to have to say 7-5 looks pretty good for the Red Wolves. 7-5 looks pretty good for the Red Wolves. Those 2 games, Michigan and Iowa State, are that's tough, but, I think that we will probably lose against them. But, if we can bounce back in conference and make sure that we're getting those conference wins just to give us a head start, that's perfect.
Yes, and with Jalen Rayner coming back, my prediction for the Red Wolves this upcoming season as of today will have to be 8-4 winning conference. I know it's a big step, but we saw Rayner in the offense, and when he got under control, he made a lot of things happen. So I could see them going 8-4. But also in other news, Brad Bobo was on A-State Connections, and he had a little something to say about the baseball team.
Let's take a look.
Obviously, I think the one, that's no big secret and the one people want to talk about the most is baseball. Mm-hmm. It is the one facility that really hasn't had a whole lot done for it. And it's no mystery, and I'm not speaking out of turn to say we're woefully behind in baseball facilities because of what we talked about with the Sun Belt. You're playing in one of the best conferences literally in America. And from a facility standpoint, it's accurate to say we've not equipped Coach Raffo to compete on a level playing field with the rest of people in our league who just mostly have phenomenal facilities. So I can promise you that our people know that. I can promise you that there are conversations being had on a daily basis about kind of what those next steps are. I know there was once upon a time where some drawings were out there, but I don't know that they had a lot of a plan attached to it. And a goal without a plan is a wish.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The next time our fans see drawings or plans for a baseball stadium, it's not going to be a wish. It's going to be the plan, and it's going to have a plan, and it will have, financial numbers attached to it is what it will take to make that a reality. And I would tell people that they would probably see that sooner than later.
Easton, all I have to say, it's about time.
I know.
For baseball. I mean, I felt like me and Tristan were talking about it last week, just how their stadium is baseball needs upgrades all over.
Yeah, I thought, building a whole new stadium is crazy. Because, you would think that they would just take the Tom and just, turf the whole thing and just redesign it like that. But building a whole new stadium and potentially locations being downtown or just where the old practice field is, that's crazy.
I would love to see the Red Bulls baseball team downtown.
I know,
the only downside, it wouldn't be on campus. Students would have to drive a little bit further than they normally do. But I feel like a downtown baseball stadium could really bring life to this baseball team because they're 8-1. They haven't seen the best of the seasons these past couple of years, but they're finally winning. And a big change like that will not only help recruiting, but just fan attendance in general.
Right, and just like JoeJo said, I mean, they haven't been this great since the Michael Jackson era. So it's crazy to think that, having baseball downtown would be, there's some ups and downs, but, in the end, I just want to see this team succeed.
I do too, but that's all we have for this first segment. You have been watching Wolf Roundtable on ASU-TV. We'll be right back.
When you say experience counts, it's experience that counts for a lifetime.
Boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it, quitting was never an option. Exhausted, this passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it, nah, you cannot stop it. Quitting was never an option.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV, and now it's time to talk a little bit more baseball. We have a road series coming up against the Missouri State Grizzlies. Now, Missouri State, you don't think of them as a good football team, but they have had success in the past, winning a couple games in Omaha.
Right,
in
I
the
mean,
College World Series.
Missouri State, they're a great baseball team. As you can see, not hitting the best right now, averaging .228, ERA at a 4, and then, on base percentage at a 35, and, home runs, I mean, it weathers. But I think Missouri State is a great baseball program. They don't get the recognition that they deserve. But this is a series that A-State needs to take advantage of. Right off the bat, game 1, I feel like we need to get a win right off the bat, and game 2, we have to capitalize on that as well.
We do, and this will be the Missouri State's third time playing a Sun Belt team this year. This is their third series against a Sun Belt team. They played Southern Miss, and I'm pretty sure it was ULM. I could be wrong, but it's gonna be a tough game. This is their first road series coming up for the Red Wolves. They've been playing at home to start the year. They've had a bunch of fun at home. They had the one road win against Ole Miss, but now going on the road for a big-time series, especially coming up after a loss in 12 innings.
Right. I mean, the loss against UCA was a tough game. I mean, 12 innings. You're throwing pitchers left and right. They're not used to throwing 2 innings, and just getting those guys back and just getting them healthy for this series is so important.
Yes, and for the Red Wolves to win this, we have a key player in Austin Jaslove. He has been killing it this year so far. He's batting .500. He has 5 home runs already, but they're going to have to watch out for Zach Stewart.
Yes.
He has 12 hits, 3 home runs, and he can get on base. But that on-base percentage for Jaslove is wild.
It's wild. I mean, he is finding ways to get on base, whether it's hitting home runs, getting on base, getting hit by pitches, walks. He's finding ways to get on base, and that's what you want to see out of your players is finding each way. And he's not hitting. He only has 2 doubles, 0 triples, and 5 home runs. So he's finding a way to get the ball out in the outfield, finding the grass, just singles and just keeping the line moving. That's what this team really needs to start doing, is finding ways to keep that line moving.
Yes.
From Will French to Campbell to Burris, we have to find ways to get on base and keep the line moving. And we don't have to hit for power every single time we're at bat. We can just hit singles and just keep the pressure going on.
And I think that's something the Red Wolves are doing good this year.
Right.
I feel like last year anytime they're just trying to score runs after runs after runs, trying to take the deep shot. But I feel like this year they're really working the pitch count. Will French, he's the best at doing that. If you see him come up to bat, it'll be a 7-8 pitch at bat. He's just working the pitcher, and he'll get walked. He doesn't mind not getting a double. He'll go to first, and he's deadly when he's on the base path because he can steal like no one else.
Right, and talking about Will French, he's working the pitchers, and I feel like the other team needs to take advantage of that and start realizing, just start working the pitchers' pitch count up.
Yeah.
And then it'll get tossed from the game, and here comes the relief pitcher, and you do the same thing. But baseball's not a perfect world. You're gonna fail. So, but it's how you bounce back from those failures, and I think this team is doing very well so far with that, especially in the pitching side.
Yes.
We have definitely improved. Bringing in a new pitching coach has been very good for the Red Wolves, and I think that this team is taking a huge step up.
Yes, and speaking of the pitchers, we have our 3 starters. You're going to be hearing their names all year long. Starting today for Friday is a guy that has been coming out of nowhere, is Jelly Vanderlily.
I love that name.
Beautiful name. Arlen Butts is going to take the Saturday game, and then Sunday, Dylan Hines going to come in, and Dylan has been playing tremendous on Sunday.
Right, exactly. And Jelly's getting the start at game 1. He's got to be on point. And Arlen Butts is going to be the one that's coming in second. These pitchers got to communicate to each other and make sure they're communicating. Hey, man, these hitters aren't hitting the curveball. They can't hit it, so let's keep throwing it at them. So these pitchers they have a camaraderie that hasn't been there in a while. And if they do that against Missouri State, I feel like this could be a clean sweep.
Yeah, but I was saying earlier, Missouri State, they're 4-4 right now, but you can't let that record fool you because Missouri State, they're a historical good baseball program. I mean, you've seen them, my recent memories, they've gone to Fayetteville and beat Arkansas in a regional. They've won super regionals. So Missouri State, this will be a great test to see how the Red Wolves will really pan out in conference this year.
Right, and going back on pitchers, I think we need to really work on walks. I mean, the walks were terrible against UCA, and you saw what happened. They scored 4 runs in 1 inning, and that's just because we're giving up walks left and right. Those have got to be minimized, especially against Missouri State, because we have to take advantage of these series that are potential sweeps or just potential get to and hit the road.
Yeah, and Daedric Krell has come up big time this year already. He started off as DH. He'll switch in between DH, third base, but when he's at that DH spot, it feels like something always is going to happen
Yeah,
when he comes up to the plate.
I like him DHing a lot more than third base, because he's worried about two things. He's worried about, defense and making sure that he's holding the line over there at third base, but he's also worried about getting hits. But I honestly think just him DHing and him focusing, hey, this is my role, and this is what I need to do to advance the runners. I mean, that's all you can ask for a DH, and I think Kale is doing that. Is doing tremendously better than last year with that.
Yes, and the only person I've really been I wouldn't say disappointed, just kind of shocked to see this year is Brandon Hager. His numbers have been down. He hasn't really been starting, and it's just you're wondering what's going on in practice. If he's just like in a slump, what can he do to just like get back to the normal Hager
It's all about it's all about just getting in practice, getting those reps within practice time, and just making sure that if your coaches are saying you need to improve on this, well then let's find out a way to figure that out in practice.
Yeah. You know what? That's all the time we have for this segment. We'll be right back after the break. You've been watching Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV.
When you say experience counts, it's experience that counts for a lifetime.
Boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it, quitting was never an option. Exhausted, this passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it, nah, you cannot stop it. Quitting was never an option. And you cannot stop it, nah, you cannot stop it.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable. Now we're going to switch it over and talk a little women's basketball. And man, ever since that win against Akron, everything has gone down south since then.
Yeah, it's
Izzy getting hurt. The team's just on a skid right now.
Right, and Izzy goes down, and this team is just trying to figure out who they are right now. Is like how do we adjust? How do we make adjustments? And I think the one person that I want to point out is Lauren Pendleton.
Yes.
Lauren has been stepping up to the plate with these games. I mean, and she hit her career 1,000 points in the last home game. I mean, that's insane. She's making her mark, especially is she a junior or?
Yeah, she's a junior.
As a junior, she's getting 1,000 career points. She's averaging 11 points, and then field goal percentage 30, and free throws are on the mark. But I mean, she's just been that person to go to, and I feel like in the tournament, we're going to see a lot of her. Like, she's going to get those 30-second breaks, 1-minute breaks, and you're back on the court. Let's go.
Get in the Izzy Higginbottom treatment, not getting much breaks. But with Lauren, she's going to have to step up her offensive game now. She's been on the show. You've heard her in interviews. She prides herself in playing defense, and she wants to be getting steals. She wants to be on their best player. But now we're really going to have to see if she can kind of become that point guard they're missing out on the team leader, quote unquote, to say with Izzy out. So if Lauren can do that, they might have a good chance. They just need to rally and hit shots. But lastly, their last home game, final game of the regular season is tonight, Friday, against App State.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an insane game. I mean, points per game, App State has got us beat, and man, they look strong right now. And even though their record doesn't seem like is that good, but they're on a streak, and they're looking good for the tournament. But the person I want to see in this game, sort of, excel to new heights is Anna Griffin as well. She is a well-rounded player. She can hit the three, but then also she can post you up in the down low in the paint. I like to see that, and I think we need to see her get more playing time, especially when she's got a hot hand with the three-pointer. Oh man, you can't go wrong with it.
She's a great player, but her problem the past couple games, she gets in foul trouble really early. She'll pick up 2 fouls in the first quarter. And something I've noticed with this team, they don't have really rhythm right now. It seems like they're playing a little bit sloppy, like unnecessary walks, like they're catching the ball and walking. They're getting unnecessary turnovers that have really been hurting their games. I mean, missing wide open layups against ULM.
Right, Wilkerson missing a wide open layup. I mean, that just can't happen. And I believe we lost by 9 last game, and against ULM. Like, that's a game that you've got to take. And I bet Coach Rogers knows that. She knows that we got to win those games. But, you know, the tournament's coming. I think since Izzy's been down, I feel like the coaching staff has been restructuring how they think and how they, you know, excel in the tournament. And I'm just excited to see what players can come up. I mean, we see Emma Mbaro. I cannot pronounce her name.
Emma, yes.
Emma
yeah, we got it.
Yes. So, I mean, she's a person that stepped up in the post as well.
Yes.
She's been getting rebounds. She's got a 50% field goal percentage. So that when she's down low, she's getting the done. I mean, so just finding her as well is great.
And I feel like a big piece of their offense and someone who I want to see really step up even more is Kendra Gillespie. When she gets down in the paint, she can out-rebound anybody. If she can just find her shot, they will have a good chance, because there's been plenty of times she got 2 or 3 offensive rebounds and just can't make that layup.
Right, and it's frustrating because she's right there.
Yeah.
You know, she does great getting the offensive board. It's just trying to finish, and, you know, sometimes she'll get fouled and go to the line, but when you don't get fouled and you're going up for a layup that's right there, you know, you just got to find the backboard and just find a way to get it in, because those are points that you need. And I think Kendra Gillespie, the more time she gets out there is just going to be crucial, because she'll get comfortable with doing that.
Yeah, and she's just a player. If you haven't been watching the women's team, she's a fun player to watch because she hustles like nobody else. She'll go down there and she's not afraid to get physical. She'll be out there backing down girls, throwing elbows. She's a physical player. It's just she does good 100% of the way, and then it's the layups that are just not there. And she can get that. I feel like this team will start rotating better. And they're on a 5-game skid. What are they going to have to do to get momentum going into the tournament? Does it start tonight with a win?
I think it starts tonight with, you know, it may not be a win, but it just finding our rhythm and making a good, clean basketball game. No travels. I'm telling you, if we cannot travel more than once.
Yes.
It's not, you're in the college level. Let's break down the travels. Let's take them down, and let's not do that, because that that gives the ball away. Like, we're trying to score points. We're down by 5, and we need those points to go on. We can't travel. We can't do the silly middle school mistakes again. We can't bring those up.
Yeah, the travels have been bad, and just throwing the ball away. It just seems this team doesn't have an identity at the moment. You know, they had one when everything was going good, and then it just seems 5 games later, we've lost 5 in a row. We've dropped down in conference standings. We're going to have to play a couple more games than we've wanted. But if we can find just some type of magic and just get on that Cinderella run, we could have some good games down in Pensacola.
I mean, and those mistakes that we're bringing up are fixable. That's the thing. It's not like we can't figure them out. It's just like the Chiefs trying to catch the ball. You know, it's like we figured out how to catch the ball, and look what happened. And, you know, and so if we figure out, you know, getting limiting travels, limiting turnovers, I mean, why can't we go make a run in the Sun Belt tournament?
Yeah. I'm really interested in seeing what the starting lineup's going to be tonight, because we've had 2 new starters the past 2 games.
Right, Sutton.
Sutton's back out there, but it's going to be interesting what they can do tonight, and it's really what's going to be the momentum going into the conference tournament.
I'm not looking for, you know, obviously we all want to win. We all want to win in this game, but I'm I'm looking more into how it's fluent.
Yes.
How is the game fluent?
Yeah, well, Easton, that's all the time we have for talking women's basketball. When we come back, we'll be talking about our red hot men. So stick around.
When you say experience counts, it's experience that counts for a lifetime.
Boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it, quitting was never an option. Exhausted, this passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it, nah, you cannot stop it. Quitting was never an option. And you cannot stop it, nah, you cannot stop it.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable. Now it's time to talk about the red hot Red Wolves.
Yep.
Easton,
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yes, here we go. So, I mean, we play App State. I mean, just like the women, the men's are going out and playing App State. And, with that, with that, we secure a 4 seed for the tournament. That's a great accomplishment where we were last year.
Yeah, it's the highest conference tournament seeding in 10 years. We'll have a double bye. And so the only thing that you have to think about, will the double bye slow down any momentum?
No.
Because we're on a 6-game win streak right now going into App State.
If anything, this is great for us.
Okay.
We're used to playing in the first round and having to play 2 extra games, then playing into the quarterfinals. So, I mean, just having that break and seeing that, hey, if there's a hot 13 seed that's winning games, they're going to be exhausted. Mm-hmm. So just taking advantage of that as well. So I think getting those 2 buys is great.
And something I've been enjoying seeing these past couple games is we're talking about a couple weeks ago how they couldn't win on the road. It's just like every time we go on a road game, we just come up short. But now we have picked up big-time road wins. We won at Troy, which was a great win.
Huge win.
At South Alabama, we won, and then this past couple days ago, we went down to Coastal and won by 11. So this team's really finding their stride, and, I bet there's other teams looking around the conference saying, I do not want to play the Red Wolves.
Right, and, App State's going to get this, is going to get a rude awakening that, the Red Wolves are here to play. So if we take a look at the stats, I mean, we're looking pretty favored right now, to be honest, and it's just points per game, we're right there with them. And it's, take out the record, and these 2 teams are very comparable and very, on the top of the conference, and that's why they're the 4th seed.
Yeah, but App State, 15-2, they're a 6.5-point favorite, and if you're betting on this game tonight, the over-under is 148, 148 points and a half. So,
and that's crazy. I mean,
with the Red Wolves, if you want any of my advice, don't blame me if you take the advice, but take the over if you do.
Yeah,
because the Red Wolves like to score.
Yeah, exactly, especially if they get hot with the 3. Yes. I mean, that's the word of the day is hot.
Yeah.
So
hot.
It's hot. And so if we can hit those 3s, and Taryn Todd and Caleb, which is surprising. Caleb Fields hitting a 3-point shot here and there is insane because he's not that 3-point shooter that I've seen through in the past. It's just like this year, he's just been knocking them down. Like, it's just crazy. And, you know, you got Taron Todd, like I said, Darren Ford. I mean, where did this kid come from? I mean, he is a great shooter out of the corner, and you just give him the ball, and he'll make magic happen, it seems like.
Yeah, and it's good to have him back. He was sick when we played Troy at home, but you know what? He got over it. I was told he wanted to play. He just couldn't keep his stomach down.
Yeah, I think in the post-game interview, you know, Hodgson was just saying, you know, he wanted to play.
Yeah.
But he just was in warm-ups and couldn't. So it's just having those people on your team is just, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And for this team to be a 4 seed in the first year of his head coaching career at Arkansas State, man, what's next year going to look like? Yeah. If you're setting the bar at the 4 seed, so you're one of the top 4 seeds, I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah, and you just got to look at it. This could be a preview game of who the Red Wolves might be playing in the tournament because App State's the 1 seed, we're the 4 seed, and if we win our first game, we'll most likely be playing App State unless they get upset.
Right, and you know, I'm gonna say the 5 seed, whoever they are, we'll probably play them, and we need to take advantage of that because I would love to see, you know, App State and A-State in the tournament battling it out and seeing the Red Wolves take it.
Yes, and I'm going to hold you off there because we're going to go send it now back to the sports desk. JoJo, take it away.
Welcome back, and once again, I am JoeJo Wallace for the ASU-TV Sports Desk. This week caps off the Arkansas State women's basketball as they have their season finale tonight against App State here at the First National Bank Arena in Jonesboro, Arkansas at 7 p.m. This game can be seen on ESPN+. Taking a look at the men's team, they end their regular season tonight at App State. This is at 5:30 p.m. on ESPN+ as well. For any more information on next week's Sunbelt Conference Tournament, make sure you visit sunbeltsports.org. Now I'm going to send you back to Coop and Easton at the Wolf Roundtable.
Thank you, JoJo and Easton. JoJo did mention the Sunbelt Conference Tournament. What's your official prediction? Do you think we're going to win out and go to the big dance, or do you see us coming up just a little bit short in year 1?
Man, I would love to see the Red Wolves succeed in this tournament. There's nothing more. But I honestly think that we have a chance in beating App State in the tournament. It's just getting it to that next game.
Yes.
Against James Madison. I mean, I'm looking at James Madison, and even though they've kind of, I guess, hit a down spurt in the last half of the season, it's just, I think James Madison's just a little too tough, to be honest with you. But I think playing App State, I think we can beat App State.
You think? Okay.
Yes.
It's really just going to be interesting to see what they do tonight because, like we're saying, you want to come in and get hot, but you almost don't. Since we had that 4 seed secured, you almost don't want to start really playing your players too much, like your starters. Like if you lose, won't be in the world, but it's just going to be interesting to see what they're going to do tonight.
Yeah, it's like the NFL in Week 18. You know, it's you're learning about what other teams are doing and what their scheme is. So if we could just take this game with a win, possibly, but also learning as well, that's perfect.
You know what, Easton? I just want to thank you for being on while Tristan's making his WWE debut somewhere. But Easton, thank you for being on.
No problem. I loved it.
All right, that's all we have for this week's of Red Wolf Roundtable. We'll see you guys next time.